and welcome to the PunchCast, episode 5. I, as the words, your host Evan, and with me this week, Kevin, for a staggering, what is this? Is this 5 or 6 in a row?
All of the time, because we did the, Civil War chat.
That's right, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So like a 6 because of the, lost episode.
And also, Sam.
Woohoo, it's me.
And for a second week in a row, Jordan.
Second week in a row, but a record-breaking number of times being mentioned last on podcasts.
Heyo. It just happens. I don't know, man.
It's okay.
Okay, so there's lots of stuff going on. Sort of, kinda, in a way. Before we get into all the cool stuffs, probably the only awesome, semi-decent piece of Fallout 4 DLC has come out.
Yeah, Far Harbor DLC is out. I'm playing it for review for the site. I got maybe 2 hours into it when Overwatch came out, so I'm gonna go back to it. I don't know, I'll try and get back to it tomorrow. I wouldn't say the semi-decent DLC. The Automatron stuff was okay. But yeah, it's the first, like, real big piece of DLC. And it's so far, it's good. The biggest thing about it is I'm playing on PS4, which, you know, it's kind of been thrown about out there that there's been a lot of issues with frame rate. I haven't noticed anything too horrible. I mean, like, there has been some frame rate dropping in high fog areas, but it hasn't been by any means, like, unplayable, and it doesn't affect the whole thing. Like, I've maybe had, 10 or 20 minutes total. But yeah, the best thing about this so far is that the story is way more interesting and, like, has a lot... I don't know. It feels more thoughtful than the main quest or a lot of the side quests in that game, and I'm really excited to see where it goes.
I hear you have a great puzzle section to look forward to, though.
Oh yeah, I heard Greg Miller of The Kinda Funny talking about that today, and I don't know, when I saw, just browsing through Twitter, IGN posted, here's, it's like a guide to, here's this super tricky puzzle in Fallout, which is not the reason why I go to Fallout, so I'm real looking forward to that.
I mean, on some level, I'm surprised they would put a tricky puzzle in there. Like, that's kind of cool to me.
Yeah, I mean, like, it is interesting in the name of shaking things up with gameplay, but from what I understand, or from what I've heard, just rumblings, that it is, like, repetitive and very much overstays its welcome. So, I don't know, we'll see. It'll all be in the review, so check groundpunch.com for that.
Yeah, we actually got a semi-live site. Our podcast is now live, and these episodes aren't just in the ether.
Subscribe to us on iTunes. Please subscribe to us on iTunes. Holy shit. It exists. It's there. Look it up.
On Twitter now and on
PunchCast.
Instagram and all the things. It's great.
Tumblr, Tinder,
I don't.
Grindr even.
I'll make a quick plug. We also have a podcast feed up for Weekly Knockout with John Keenan Reese Bennett. He's one of the guys at the site. Nice. He is doing his own little mini weekly 10-minute podcast episodes where he goes through the top 10 stories in the week of video game news. So if you want a quick fix on everything that's happening in the exciting world of electronic entertainment, check it out. Weekly Knockout on iTunes.
I always thought it was Rise Bennett.
It could be. But I don't think so.
I'm thinking Reese, and I'm going to say that because Reese from Tales from the Borderlands had his name spelled the same way, so I'm going to bet his pronunciation on a Telltale game.
Doesn't he? I can't remember. Does he say his name in the intro? Or does he just say John Bennett?
Maybe.
We know our content great, guys. Good job.
And so anything else? Anybody playing other games that are interesting at all?
So kind of. Obviously, we've all kind of been playing the same big games. Doom, Uncharted 4, Overwatch.
Yeah, it's been, I just want to say, it's been a real, like, treat of a trifecta this year.
It's been a fucking cool month for shooters, too. Like
really, really cool.
Except for Battleborn.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, there's a reason that you only mention Doom, Uncharted, and Overwatch instead of Battleborn.
Real quick then, on the Sam video games front, I went to G2A.com and made a large purchase wherein I bought Doom for $50 Canadian, which it normally costs 80 here. But then I also decided that, hey, they have this thing where you can just buy a bundle of random Steam keys, like a blind box, for like $4. So they sell them in like 2 different ways. They sell them in bundles of 10 completely random common games, which generally aren't that great. But you can also buy premium keys, which cost $2 per, and they're like a guarantee that the game will be, of some quality and value. So I bought a box of 10 shitty games and a couple good ones. So I got like the good ones were like Dragon Age Origins and something else, an RPG, I think. But the fucking 10 games were interesting. I got
now when we say bad Steam games, are we talking bad
I mean like
Steam
Russian-developed Unity games
oh boy.
that barely run. Games like Unknown Battle.
Okay, let's
Locked In Syndrome.
Let's do this.
Lemurzen. Intrusion 2.
Real quick, does Lemurzen have anything to do with lemurs?
No, absolutely not.
Fuck this
It's like
game.
a Russian name, like one word, Lemur, Z-I-N. I'm trying to look at this. I got Russian Horror Story. Don't
Sounds
quite know
dope.
what that is.
Pretty much every story about Russians is a horror story.
Yeah, I do.
Princess.loot.pixel.again.
Okay. I don't know.
No, actually,
I don't know
actually
any
right
other
now, the Splinter Cell games are on sale on Steam, which those are
those
better
are.
than these games.
There. So I got this bundle of 10 games with the purpose of doing something with them at some point. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to stream them or if I'm going to write something about them, but I will do something with these games at some point.
So, the real quick about like the premium games, are they like do they read your Steam library so that you get something you didn't have, or is it literally random?
No, they do not do that. On the right side, it's $2, right?
Okay,
and
right.
it's there are lots of marketplaces where users can trade Steam keys.
Okay.
If you look around online. So yeah, there's no guarantees that way, but it's kind of a PS Plus sort of thing where sometimes you'll just get something you already have. However, I only have like 200 games on my Steam library, and compared to the amount of things that are actually on Steam, the likelihood of getting a duplicate is actually pretty low. Especially because I don't actually own a lot of triple A games on there. The other thing I've been doing that's also a PC thing is I went and played a game that I got for free in a Humble monthly bundle. And Humble Bundle, if you're familiar with it or not, it's a charity organization that basically sells bundles of games for really cheap in the hopes that people will pay more than they need and all the money goes to charity. So they have a monthly kind of PS Plus deal where you get a blind box of about 10 games, and they're normally like really high quality games, all of them. Some of them are exclusive to this thing, so they're like weird little indie games. And one of the games I got this month was a game called The Magic Circle, which is actually really cool, and I just went into it not really expecting much. But it's a game with a really kind of interesting black and white art style. It's kind of got I don't know if you played Stanley Parable or even Bastion thing, where there's kind of a lot of narration as you go through the world. But unlike those games, like it's a proper video game. It has this really cool mechanic that I feel like I've seen somewhere else, but I can't tell you where every creature or object you encounter in the environment, basically your character is kind of hacked into this game world. It's an in development game, and you're hearing the creators as you go through the game world talk about it. But as you run into enemies or objects they've discarded, you can open up this sort of code interface and look at the attributes that are assigned to each of them and then like add or remove them. So you have basically this inventory. You can find say it's like an enemy dog, and you can click on it and open up this interface, and you'll see that its enemy parameters are set to attack the player and other creatures, and you can just remove the player or other creatures from that list and then put that in your inventory. So you can turn all of these enemies you're finding into allies by setting it so they don't have any enemies and setting yourself as their ally. And then if they have some sort of special ability like flying or fire resistant or, energy attack, you can take those with you and then assign them to different creatures or enemies in the environment. So it's got this puzzle solving element where you're finding the attributes you need and then using them. Like, for example, I found fireproof on a robot in an area, took that attribute, killed the robot. Then I had a little pet dog with me and it was a giant turtle. And I made the giant turtle fireproof so I could ride it across a lava river. Weird little stuff like that. So I've been having a good time. I'm kind of going through it slowly. It's not too long of a game. It's got a really cool art style, interesting narrative, and really cool kind of puzzle mechanics.
Yeah, I've heard about this game. This came out. Gosh, it was last fall, I think, on Steam.
It was July.
Yeah, that's
year.
when it was. It was and it actually just hit the PS4 a while ago.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, 2 or 3 or in the last month or so.
Okay, I had no idea.
Yeah, it's like the Ultimate Edition, so I don't know if the developers touched some things up or I don't know. But yeah, I've been looking for that to maybe go on sale because it sounded really interesting when I heard about it.
Yeah, I got it for the low price of I got it and 9 other games, and I'm paying like $14 a month or something like that.
Yeah, that Humble Bundle.
That bundle's totally fucking dope. Like it's I totally recommend
Humble
it.
Bundle is out there doing God's work.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's hop in. There's nothing else worth talking about, and we've all been playing the hotly anticipated Blizzard hero shooter
Battleborn.
Overwatch.
Oh wait,
no.
okay.
Wait, Kev, did you want to talk about that before I take over for the rest of the show?
It deserves some mention.
You are, I think, the only one in this group that has actually played both post launch now.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Overwatch is a better product overall.
All right, there we go. Let's move on.
Obviously, just people want, Borderlands 3, and, Battleborn has gone through, ups and downs and kind of a couple of identity crises.
Wait, there were ups?
Crises?
Cricey?
Cricey?
Is that right?
English with Kevin. So yeah, it's gone through, obviously a few changes and just the image that they put out there, it's like a MOBA, or when it first launched, it was it kind of looked a lot like Destiny. It was the last planet or the last star, you have to save it, you're fighting all these creatures, and it looked a lot like Destiny. Then they were oh no, it's like a MOBA, and people were what? And then they're oh no, it's a hero shooter, and then oh, it actually has a story.
And then when people were what's a hero shooter? And then Overwatch and other games were we have no idea, but we are too, and the marketing got really confusing at some point, and everyone thought Overwatch and Battleborn were the same game, and it was really fucked up, and then one of them wasn't very good.
Well, it's not bad. It's it's a good game. It's not great. It sucks that the episode got lost, because me and John talked about it quite a bit. Because I probably put 40 hours into the game so far, and I'm really enjoying my time with it, for sure. One of the missteps is that I don't think the beta or the alpha did it a lot of good, just because there's a lot more as far as mechanics and progression and systems in the game that do take more than just a beta to kind of understand, which is obviously not exactly their fault, but kind of their fault for how the alpha and the beta were represented, because there are a lot of cool and good kind of approaches with mastering the different characters, the unlocks. Because that is one of the things I wish Overwatch had a little bit more of. Yes, they have amazing skins. I want to unlock all of them. They have some phenomenal skins and taunts and all that stuff. But it's all random, essentially. There's no do this 100 times and you unlock this. Do this.
I agree. I think we can talk about it a little later, because I have my own thoughts on that too.
So and Battleborn is the complete opposite. It's it's hey, you're this character, kill this enemy. Because right now I'm playing as Whiskey Foxtrot, and he's kind of a failed Marine clone, and one of his mastery quests is essentially to kill Oscar Mike, which is the guy he was cloned after 25 times in multiplayer. So there's something that I'm always working towards in Battleborn. Not that, Overwatch is still a blast. I prefer kind of the faster action of Overwatch, but I do wish Overwatch had a little bit more, something else kind of pushing me, because not that it will get stale, but when there's not kind of a hook that I'm always pushing towards, it's there's kind of a push and pull of that. But I'm still really enjoying Battleborn. They have I think they have 4 or 5 DLC characters planned. It's an insane roster. Mastering all the characters is going to take a long time. I'm not sure that I'm going to.
It's a MOBA, right? That's kind of the thing about that game. What I played of it, it's MOBA light. It's and that's the thing. I feel wrong comparing it to Overwatch. I feel the only good justification for doing that is because we know that the audience, the general gaming audience, is kind of confused about what these games are. But honestly, they're not very similar games, other than they're games where you play a character that has a gun and they're cartoony and they have a lot of personality. But the goals of the game are very different. Like, I'd say Paragon is a more apt comparison than Overwatch is.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Like, the mechanics and like the systems within Battleborn are way, way closer to Paragon than
they're both MOBAs. Like, and that's the thing. Like, it's a completely different genre. It's just, and, whatever. Like, it's the first person perspective, I guess, is the thing about Battleborn that makes it.
I mean,
compared to Overwatch.
When we talk about, and this is a kind of a semantic argument that's been taking place a lot on the internet, is that, they aren't the same, but they are competing forces. Like you said, they are these kind of quirky, colorful, very full of personality shooters.
But I feel like they're competing mostly because the audience, the market got confused about what it was. Like, because, MOBA players will play MOBAs and shooter players will play shooters. Like, they didn't really have to compete. It's just that I feel like the perception that players had of what these games were and how confusing it seemed like a lot of people got, or how confused it seems like a lot of people got, really affected the way that, Blizzard marketed Overwatch, because they definitely started, planning their beta dates and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit to sabotage Battleborn from the looks of it, which just seemed kind of crazy, like, seemed kind of like a wild thing to do from the outside looking in, because it was like, I don't feel like these games are competing, because I know that I would never, like, from the start, I was never going to have any interest in Battleborn, because I'm kind of done with MOBAs, although I guess Paragon kind of managed to loop me back in for a bit, but I've taken a break from playing that for the last month or so. Yeah, I don't know, like, to me it seems, I feel like the competition is mostly imaginary, or at least it was at some point, and then because everyone thought it forced Blizzard and Gearbox to kind of be at each other's throats a little.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's obviously they are quite a bit different, but at the same time, like, it is interesting to see, because, like, Battleborn had double XP weekend going up, like, through launch of Overwatch, which was kind of funny, and, like, their first, if you had the season pass, the first DLC character launched today as well. Obviously, like, Overwatch, they had that weird day
I didn't even know about the double XP thing. That's awesome.
Yeah, they were running that, and there were a bunch of ads like all over Twitter. So
not to mention, Battleborn's been on sale for $20 less, which is.
Although I have feelings that there's a few reasons for that. Probably.
Yeah.
I wonder what the sales are like.
Not to speak to sales, but I did recently see a statistic floating around out there that in the last couple of days, there's been an average of more people on Steam playing Borderlands 2 than Battleborn, which is that's like again not the same type of game, but that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that kind of is, because Borderlands 2 has been out since
4 years.
Okay, yeah, so that's fucking terrible, I guess, on some level, because they seem like they poured a lot of money into marketing and stuff for Battleborn.
Yeah, and they totally did. I mean, they had the posters up at GameStop, and they were giving away the free little figurines with purchase, and they're trying to really go all out. But I don't know if the market is very receptive to that game right now.
And sadly, like, if I was going to recommend a MOBA right now, like, Paragon would be the thing, I think.
Even though none of us have touched it, even though we still loved it.
But I knew that was going to happen for me. It's opening up pretty soon, and I'm probably going to go back to it then. I was just waiting for them to add more characters, and they've added like 2 or 3 now, I think.
Yep.
Once they get up to like 4 or 5, I think I'm going to come back.
Yeah, Paragon was actually on sale for $10 like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I came real close to getting it. Like the Founders Pack was.
Okay.
I probably will, like, when the full thing releases, chip in.
When the full thing releases, it'll be free, so you won't have to buy anything.
I mean, yeah, but you'll only get those, like, base 13 or whatever. With anything above that, you'll get multiple characters.
Well, if I end up liking it or loving it, I have no problem paying for games that I like. I have no problem with patronage to games that deserve it.
That game's multiplayer only.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
He likes Overwatch, I think.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I fucking love Overwatch so much.
Speaking of,
yeah, let's move on.
Let's roll right into it. Let's just round table all our thoughts. Let's go, Jordan. You seemed excited. Let's go.
So yeah, I pre-ordered it a couple days ago. I don't know. I wasn't going to. I think I talked about this before. I've just been kind of a little bit, not like super strapped, but a little bit strapped for cash lately. And so beginning of the month, I was basically like, you know what? I'm going to buy Uncharted 4. I'm just going to have like that multiplayer. I hope it's great. Hold me over. And then
should have just Redboxed it.
I should have. I ended up trading it in, so like whatever. But
well, there we go.
I mean, at Hastings you get $40 anyway. And I ended up getting Doom, and then I don't know. The next Overwatch shorts came out, and I was just like, oh,
and they're all
really good. And I don't know. The hype took a hold, and I'm really glad it did because I'm absolutely loving this game. There are a couple problems with it, I don't think with the game itself, but with the way people are playing right now. I kind of a parallel between that, and I've been playing a lot of Doom, the snap map mode, is that there's this really, and you see this with a lot of games with online components, there's this kind of zeitgeist, I don't know, this flooding of the stallways that just people aren't doing very as well as they could be. You know, like in terms of Doom Snap Map, you're getting a lot of like crap maps and modes that are just lazily put together. In terms of Overwatch,
people that are excited to mess with features,
yes,
but
not to really dig into
nothing
them.
beyond that.
Yeah, and with Overwatch, I think you're getting a lot of people who aren't really there for the team gameplay. They're there to play. I don't know what they're there for, but they're playing it like Call of Duty. They're going off. They're being lone wolves. They're only playing Soldier 76, and like you end up with this. Oh, God. Like but these motherfuckers. You start a match. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to be Tracer because I wrecked shop. I got play of the game last time. You all saw it. I'm going to be Tracer on the team. And then 3 other people pick Tracer. It's like, well, okay, no, I guess because we need tanks and supporting characters. I guess I'm just going to be, I don't know, Reinhardt or some shit. And it's just, I don't know. It's this kind of this frustrating new dynamic that happens whenever there's a new game on the scene. But I don't know, it'll go away in a month. I'm really looking forward to ranked and competitive play. This game is really, I don't know, it's deep, but I think it's amazing in its ability to also be open. Like you can just, no matter your experience with shooters or video games, you need some experience obviously, but you need to know how to move and play, et cetera, but you can just pick up the game and play tactically with a team. Yeah. You can be a healer or you can be a tank and you can understand the dynamic, which is something that's like super rare in any kind of online shooter. It's every possible design choice has been meticulously thought out to be the most fun, just concise way to get from playing the game to having fun. It's incredible. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm really liking what I'm playing. You know, like it's the same game as the beta. If you played the beta, this is that. There are no more maps. There are no more characters for the moment. Like they will be adding stuff. There are no more unlockable skins. Like it is the same game. So if you are listening to this and you played that, which I think a lot of people did, judging from their like crazy high beta numbers, I think it was like close to like 10 million people.
9.7 million.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's totally worth it. Like, you know, on PC, it's $20 cheaper, and that's the version I got because I don't really care about the skins or whatever else. I know.
How dare
crazy.
You? How dare you not?
There are some phenomenal skins, but getting a skin that everyone else is going to get, it just does nothing for me. So I didn't want to spend like an extra $20 on that.
I mean, everyone's going to get them anyways.
But I mean, like the other skins at least are rare drops, and so no one's ever really going to have them all because of how slow the leveling gets at some point.
People like I've already seen. Like those high-profile streamers that make, a shit ton of money every day on, like, donations where they, like, yeah, fuck it, and they drop $200 to get, like, 200 different crates, and they just sit there and open them on stream.
There will be, but the thing is, you can get dupes, though.
They have
you
all
can still
those.
Get dupes, so those really rare skins are going to remain really rare, just because of how unlikely you are.
And then they give you credit for them, and then you just buy the skin.
Even with all that, like, you'd have to spend probably over $1,000 to get anywhere near close to all of this stuff. And then, then they'll add more stuff
too. It's just annoying. Oh yeah,
I'm hoping your stream game.
I'm hoping with competitive comes like say you rank a certain rank in a season, you get like a cool skin for a certain.
I'm hoping they just
like a batch of skins.
You with some bonus currency when you play that mode, like just so you can buy your own skins and stuff. Because like right now, the way it is, like I guess Kevin brought it up earlier. Maybe just open this up because that's my only real criticism of the game at this point. Is just the progression is flawed, I think, on some level, and that's not to say it's bad. Yeah,
it's basic.
And I didn't even I'm glad it's there, but I didn't need any progression in this game to have fun with it. Like, Evan knows, like, and he's playing it now. He's kind of gotten in and out a little bit. Like, I like Counter-Strike a lot. Counter-Strike, there is no progression. There is
Super
nothing
fun.
to unlock. Everything is there from the start, and I've put more time into that than any other shooter. So I know for me personally, I don't need that to feel good about games. But when it's there, I like it to be, substantial. I guess the thing with Overwatch right now is that what's there is nice, but there's not enough of it, and it gets really slow really quickly. Because the way it is right now, the only way to unlock new items is by either leveling up or, paying real money. So if you aren't paying real money, you're relying on gaining XP to do that, and by the time you hit level 20, it's taking you like, 2 hours of play at least to get your next batch of unlockable items, and those unlockable items might be complete garbage, because it is all a random drop, like, and that's been the shitty thing. It's like, I'm getting to the point now where I'm like level 13 or something, and it takes about an hour before I get anything, actually a little more than that at this stage, and I'll open it up and be like, cool, I got a bunch of fucking sprays and a voice line for a character I don't play.
God damn it.
Awesome. I will say, opening the chests in this game, holy shit. That animation is perfect.
Oh yeah,
that
animation
feels
is nice.
Goddamn crack cocaine. It's really good.
Just like this perfect. Oh, what is it? Oh god. Oh, it's purple. Oh shit. Oh no.
No, it feels.
Oh god, it's amazing.
It feels perfect
every fucking
to
time.
open a chest.
You know what game has a similar
say
mechanic of opening up loot?
Anyway, moving on.
Total
I'm getting that
Warhammer.
game in a couple days for free.
I thought you already got it, or you have to wait till it actually
No,
ships
yeah,
out. They
you
didn't
have to
want to
wait
give
till
you a code.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Well, so no.
Comes in the
Like
box,
they will
that's
email
annoying.
me a code, but they're like back ordering it, so it's gonna take a couple more days.
Anyways, yeah, it's fucking fun, man. Like, I played probably around 10-ish hours of the beta when it came out. I'm creeping up on 3 right now. I got tomorrow off, so I'm gonna burn through a shitload of it. And, like, I understand the gripes about, there's no progression, you're not getting, like, oh, look, I leveled up my Tracer now, and that gives me something or whatever. But at the same time, like, every game is so crowded with all this stupid shit now, where it's like, hey, look, you got a new shoulder piece. That gives you cool stats. And being able, like, I have been taking hour lunches at work because I've been fucking staying there all goddamn day. And I came home today and I just fucking played like 2-3 games and I was like, that was fun, and then I went back to work. Like, I wasn't worried about the next, Tracer boots I got that made me run faster. I wasn't worried about, my cool stats. I was like, I'm just having fucking fun shooting shit and playing, and all the characters are so well designed. The maps are so much fun. Like, as soon as they start picking up with, like, dropping new maps, a couple new characters, and when competitive comes out and I can really get into, like, when people stop doing what Jordan's talking about, where they play 5 Tracers on a team.
No. 5 of one character isn't bad playing. That's goddamn strategy, okay? Let me tell you something about Roadhog.
5 of one character, 5 Bastion. Well, when it's 5 tanks, it's done. The match is over.
For the other team, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I played against, I think the team was 4 Roadhogs.
Yeah, no, full
like,
Roadhog.
okay.
We tried that during the beta, me and a group of friends, and we were pleased by how well that worked. I figure at some point with this game, the meta will be figured out at some point. I think you're going to see some characters probably cycle out of play, at least in the competitive scene. You're going to see the same group of probably 10 or so heroes mostly get used.
Yeah, it's gonna... the thing I wanted to bring up with this game is I think that I'm really digging it for one of the reasons that it's really similar to fighting games. In that there is... And in fighting games, there is also the meta. You see... you don't see every character being played at a competitive level. You see probably the top 7, maybe top 8. Every now and then you'll see a dark horse come out, but I think that'll probably be the same
for sure.
with this
game.
game.
I like that aspect of it a lot. Like, there's just so much variety, and that's the thing that I think will keep me playing for a while, especially if they do add new characters and stuff. Like, I can see myself coming back to this for a long time, and that's the thing. Like, I wasn't gonna buy this game, but I decided, you know what? Like, this is a Blizzard game. I'm going to get my money's worth out of this, because my thing is just that I burn out on shooters really quick for the most part. But, I played that beta for probably 12 hours and didn't feel like I'd have my fill. I know they're going to add a lot of stuff to this because they're Blizzard. Like, they fucking are still patching Diablo 2. So on some level, I was like, this feels like a good long-term investment for me. And I'm definitely excited about that.
On that note, I kind of wanted to ask you guys, what are your feelings on the whole argument of Overwatch versus things like Battlefront or Titanfall, where people are bringing up a lot of arguments that this is this is probably one of the lightest content games I've seen in a long time.
I disagree,
though.
Like, you gotta think about what goes into making a character like the characters in these games, right?
Yep.
I don't know, like, because this is a bit exaggeratory, but playing each individual character in Overwatch is almost like playing a different game. Because they control differently, they have wildly different abilities, and there's a lot of mastery that can go into playing each and every one of them. And I guess that's the thing that games like Titanfall, and it stings to say that because I like Titanfall a lot, or games like Battlefront. Battlefront
Titanfall was great.
Piece of garbage. Like, I'll talk shit on that all day. Like, the thing with that game is that there's little variety in that game. There's no maps. There's your characters are all very similar. The weapons are all incredibly similar. The game modes, despite there being like 20 of them, are all throwaway
pretty much
and not very fun. Like, that's another thing with Overwatch. Yeah. And, they steal it all from TF2. Like, never forget that. Like, TF2 invented all of these game modes. Or I guess more specifically TF1 did. But the reason these game modes work, and the reason TF2 still has a giant community, like, fucking 7 years later, is because they're really good, well-refined modes that work really well for team-based games like this. It's kind of apples and oranges in my mind, because those games are just so, from a design level up, they're just really different.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think the real longevity comes from how much you are learning or willing to learn about each character, and to me, again, it's kind of similar to a fighting game. It's like, I don't know, I've gotten into arguments with John about how he thinks $5 to pay for a DLC character in a fighting game is too much. But if you play a fighting game, like that $5 character, you can learn, and you can learn their moves and how to counter them, and that goes towards the meta of playing competitively. And so it just becomes this kind of, I see where you're
going with that. I totally agree too. Like, $5, to John's credit, I think that $5 doesn't go very far for a certain kind of person.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but like, for people that are in it, that's where I was going. For like people that are willing to learn each character and how, like, if you're willing, like, if you just want to play this for a weekend and you're gonna go online and bitch about Bastion, that's fine. That's on you. That's cool. But if you're like, okay, you know what? I'm going to learn an entire new character and I'm going to have 50 hours logged when I'm done with this game with that one character, because every time somebody pulls a Bastion, I'm going to pull this character and I'm going to learn around the game. Then I think $60 is it's a totally worthy purchase.
Yeah, and I mean, that is like the hot topic right now, is people saying like, oh man, I loved it, worth every penny, and other people are like, gonna wait till it's $20-$30, no one's gonna talk about this in a month. Those people are like
fucking people that don't know. They're just kids that haven't played a Blizzard game before, because...
Yeah, no, this game is going to be talked about for a long time.
It just feels... It feels the way I feel when I play a game like Counter-Strike. It feels like you just know, okay, this is quality, like, this is a thing... Immediately, if you have experience with shooters, you can just be like, you can see the legs it has on it. That's exactly the opposite of the way you feel when you play a game like Evolve or something. Like, it's not about whether or not you like the game, it's just about whether or not you can sense, is this the kind of thing that will draw players or have legs as far as content and stuff goes. Part of it is knowing Blizzard's track record, but you gotta go absolutely. And like, that's one of the big reasons I bought it on PC as well, because that is generally where the primary attention goes when it comes to Blizzard. Like, Diablo 3, for example, is fucking great on console, but, it's kind of like Minecraft. It is updates behind the PC version, and it still doesn't have some of the cool features that thing has. So, to me, that was kind of the safe bet, although I guess it'll kind of depend on where their player base is situated. I wouldn't be surprised if the PS4 has a pretty healthy number of Overwatch players as well.
Yeah, it just, like, I hate the fucking shit out of the new Battlefront game. I really did not like it. I played the beta and I played for like probably 3 hours and I was like, oh my god, I cannot stand this game. Like, there's just something about it that was just annoying to like sit there and play.
Of the people here, I think I was the only one who really dug into that. And that is the only game I actually wish I had, not a lot lower, but I had gone back and changed the review score at 8-Bit Chimp. I gave it an 8, and I kind of wish I'd given it a 7.
Speaking of Evolve, that was the same situation for me. Although, in my defense, like my whole caveat with my review was, I don't know if this thing will have legs or not, but right now it's fun. And sure enough, fucking didn't. And with that context,
right
I would definitely review it lower. At the time, I kind of
don't worry, we have a brand new website. Y'all can just re-review those.
Yeah. Evolve has never been more relevant than it is right now. For sure, I'll get right on that.
And it is something about, like, it's not a MOBA, you know, it doesn't have these crazy systems. Like, it's straight up just like you jump in, like, anyone can jump in. You're like, hey, friend who doesn't really play games or only plays Madden, and you're like, here, just hold this thing, and then, see, look, your character has different moves, and they're like, I don't like this. You're like, okay, switch. Okay, now you look at all these different roles, and it's really accessible, like we said, but that skill ceiling is so high. You will be playing and you'll see people do shit you didn't know was possible with the character. And you're like, oh, goddamn, like, what the hell was that?
It's
like
that tracer move that we were talking about earlier, which is to use, run, triple dash into an area filled with enemies, use your ult on, I think I did it with, a Reinhardt, and stuck, Tracer's grenade to him, and then just rewind all the way out of there. I didn't know that was, a thing you should or could do until somebody did that to me. And it's just this constant, you're constantly learning something.
Like, say, comboing, I was playing, last night? So there was a fun thing, I'll tell you about this because everyone was there for that. I was playing as Roadhog and got knocked off the edge. I think it was a, Farah knockback shot. So she pushed me off a cliff, but right then I grabbed like a May or something and just fucking pulled her off the edge with me, which was awesome.
Yeah. I had something similar with Widowmaker on just one of the levels where it was a cliffside and there was a 2-story building and I had a guy chasing me, or as a tracer chasing me, and I jumped off the edge of the building and turned around quick enough to use her grapple to pull up on the lower half of the building, and Tracer, I think, went over the edge. It's just like this, I don't know, it's just kinetic, and it is a constantly moving experience. It almost reminds me a lot of kind of Quake and Unreal, in a way.
Yeah, in a really good way. Because and it does, I think that's an inspiration for this game for sure, because it controls like an arena shooter. You're running around picking up health pickup and shit, which is very, very.
And I mean, you've got your every weapon has, or every person pretty much has 2 fire modes, or you have your normal fire and your alt fire, and that might be one of the reasons why I'm going so crazy over it, because arena shooters.
Yeah, it's everything that Doom multiplayer should be.
I like the Doom multiplayer for what it is, but you're not wrong.
You are a crazy person, but sure.
Shut up.
But. Yeah, so you hop in and you're playing one character and you're not doing so hot, so you switch because, kind of countering or building on what your team has going is a really important part, which I think some people know and some people have yet to learn really, how it goes. A couple times I've, nicely gestured of hey, maybe you shouldn't play that character because we're defending, and having that very offensive character is probably not a good idea, and they switch and oh, okay, I didn't.
Oh yeah, you're always so nice.
I actually was nice most of the time. Sometimes I'm not nice, you're right.
Yeah, I've been the same way though. I have found myself, and the nice thing about PC, at least, I feel like there's almost certainly a lot less of what Jordan was talking about before.
It's weirdly true.
People that don't play their roles. Well, I mean, it's partly just because people can fucking communicate on PC. Everybody has a keyboard in front of them to say things to other people with, and even though I actually have seen a shocking lack of that, there's a surprising, compared to games like Counter-Strike or anything like that, there are way fewer people talking in the chat in-game than I would expect, but there are definitely situations all the time of, hey, we have 2 of the same character, or hey, we need a healer or something, and people calling that out, which is super useful.
I've seen, last night I was actually real late at night, I almost got on the voice chat, but Joe was asleep in the other room, but I was just playing the arcade mode, and there were 3 dudes, on my team, and I played a couple matches with them, and they were really coordinating in a really, and what was awesome about it is that they were obviously playing just for fun. They were just coordinating just for fun, which, in multiplayer or in any team-based mode, is such a rare thing to see people not yelling and screaming and swearing and, of any age range. It doesn't have to be the 12-year-old Call of Duty fanatic. It's refreshing to see people getting together around something and just wanting to have fun with its mechanics.
And, we'll see if that lasts. That's my fear, I guess, is I would love it if we lived in a world where quick play remained a friendly, casual thing, and competitive is where the people that want to take that stuff a little more seriously can go. But I've found with games that have both of those options, games like League of Legends or games like Counter-Strike, the competitive, angry, you better goddamn play your role or we are going to yell at you / kick you bleeds over at some point into the casual modes. The nice thing about Overwatch is that there is no kick function. There is no friendly fire like there is in a game like Counter-Strike, and there is no reliance on a single individual to win the game like there is in a MOBA or Counter-Strike. Like, pulling your weight definitely matters less in casual, like, quick play Overwatch. Because, there's a bit of an XP bonus if you win or whatever, but by the time this game's been out for a month, everybody's gonna be, like, level 30 or 40, and that tiny bit of XP will be barely noticeable anyway. I'm sure there will be people that get mad, but I don't think there'll be that many.
And it is, I was going to correlate this to my experience with Mortal Kombat, where it was definitely the same thing, where you have people who are playing in ranked, who are always trying to get that streak, and they're always, disconnecting or quitting. And the same thing happens in Street Fighter. And that's why I mostly play in, like, casual matches, because ranked people get so obsessive. Like, they usually, if they are not one of the, like, out of 1 out of 10 people that don't disconnect or spam or use the cheapest character in the game or et cetera, then they scream at you and they will harass you. And I really don't want to see that happen with this game, because this game is so... I was just thinking about it because I was looking for, like, God, is there any emote or anything I can tell these people to fucking do their job and pick a different character or support me? And you can't, because this game is so friendly. It is so conductive to people getting together and having a good time in every way. Like, the only kind of emotes or interactions you can have engendered by the game are positive. It's good job or acknowledgement or hi.
Which once again is like, that's a very much TF2 thing. Fucking playing TF2 now though, like that's why I'm so scared for Overwatch, because playing TF2 now is not unlike playing Counter-Strike. The people in that community have gotten to such a place where it's still very much a play your role. You're new, fuck you, get out of our game.
Counter-Strike people are so mad.
Yeah, like, I don't know, like, I still like that kind of game, like, despite all of the bullshit that happens, I love Counter-Strike, and I understand why people get mad, and because I get mad in those games, because, unfortunately, your performance, you can be great, but the fact is you are still relying on the other people on your team in a huge way, because you just can't carry by yourself. Overwatch is going to be the same way. At least the teams are bigger, and I think that'll help a little bit too.
It's one person bigger.
It is one person bigger, but that could make a difference.
I mean, it's the difference too that it's not, am I using the right gun? There's not in most, like, scenarios, there's not, I'm playing the right character. Like, you can kind of, I play a crazy offensive Zenyatta at times, which he's a pretty offensive support by himself, but I'll fuck you up, like, if you don't play.
Yeah, he's pretty good. And I was gonna say though, the one and maybe only protection that makes Overwatch unique from all these other games is that you cannot see other people's stats.
There's no scoreboard in the game. You can only see your stats.
Yes, which is
awesome, actually. Like,
probably
it's great.
And hopefully going to save this game. I think that's the one thing I've never seen another game do. And I mean, it will make it hard because, you're going to spend a certain amount of the game dead, and the maps are big enough that you're not always going to be looking at all of your teammates. So at some point, you will, even if people aren't playing the role, you can't see it a lot of the time. And I think that could be a good thing as far as fostering a healthy community is concerned.
And I mean, it's a very malleable game. Like I've tried to learn, I've learned Lucio and Reinhardt and Widowmaker and Tracer and a little bit of Reaper, and just because if I need to fit in anywhere, I can. And it's a game that, like, there are maps where certain characters are not as viable as other characters. Like Gibraltar, you don't really want to play Pharah if you're doing one of the, like, control objectives, because once it transfers to that second, like, indoor area, you're pretty much useless.
You
get
mostly,
yeah.
I'll give you a bit mostly. There. I've definitely gotten some kills there, but yes, I know what you mean.
But like Widowmaker in there, with a lot of the tight corridors and a lot of people aren't paying attention to the rafters up above, she can wreck shop. And vice versa with other maps. But it's again, just speaking to the quality and the creative depths at which they had to go to just get this game to be so varied. It really shows.
Yeah, and that is kind of the testament of why I think this game is so worth $60 and why I think it's going to be a lot bigger than most people think is that moment-to-moment gameplay is so different. You know, it's not like a 10-minute Halo match where someone grabs kind of whatever control or momentum and stuff where they are just all of a sudden steamrolling you and there's nothing you can do about it. When that happens in this game, you say, oh look, my entire 6-man team is now different characters. And now we're going to come at you from a different angle. And then they switch. And it's like this constant, you know, game of chess dance where things are ever evolving in the course of 7 minutes in these tiny, like, short games that go by in, you know, seconds, it feels like, because it's so much fun and you're constantly, like, trying to be one step ahead of that other team.
Yeah, for sure. Like I think that's the thing that makes it like really strategically interesting compared to a game like TF2. Is TF2 you have the sniper, the engineer, like the rockets guy. Like the nice thing about Overwatch is that there are at least 2 characters for every role. There are 2 snipers. I guess there's only 1 builder right now. I'm guessing that'll be one of the first things they add with new characters because it seems really strange. It seems really strange that they have a builder role that they officially recognize at the character selection screen, but there's only one character. Yep.
And I'm just like, okay, well, who's going to be the gnome man? Yeah.
And really, you don't always need a Torbjorn anyway, which is kind of another weird thing. But, like, yeah, so I don't know. Like, I think that's fascinating because it does mean, yeah, like you're saying, like, there's a level of, you know, countering and then countering that really only exists in this game as far as I know. Because as far as games that have classes and let you switch between them in the middle, you know, there are so many hard counters and soft counters in this game that it's going to be really interesting to see a meta develop.
Yeah. I mean, let me tell you who's at the top. Bastion.
He's not that fucking good.
I guarantee, I think Bastion is going to be a character who is really good against casuals and will be really severely shut down at some point in competitive
Oh yeah,
play.
probably.
It's already happening on PC. Like, I've seen a lot of people, because, you know, that was it's the funny thing, Bastion, get and play the game every time. Like, and, you know, I played as Bastion last night, and he's pretty good, but he can also be total dog shit.
Like, the Bastion, and I mean, again, it depends on who's playing.
He's an easy character to play and learn, like, that thing. His skill ceiling is reasonably low, and the whole thing with that character is he roots into a turret thing, and he can just mow down enemies if they get in front of him, and they're stupid enough to do that. And, like, he was my most played character during the beta. I racked up a shit ton of kills that plays with the game. I think the thing they need to do, like, the first thing they need to do to curb complaints is tweak how the game registers him for play of the game.
Yeah.
Because him getting a lot of kills at once is just kind of him playing his role.
And it's not necessarily based on the skill of the player rather than the stupidity of whoever he killed. Or just the shit random luck.
Just being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's mostly he chose a good corner at a time when the enemy team all pushed.
And they all just came through the same damn door. Yeah.
It's super fun to play. Like, don't get me wrong, it's super satisfying. And the people that are getting mad about people that choose Bastion or whatever, like, fuck them. Honestly, like, who cares what someone else is playing? Who cares that you didn't get play of the game? It's like, it's a fucking final kill cam in Call of Duty. Like, it doesn't do anything for you.
It's pretty fun to get, though.
I do like
it is fun to get, but I don't get mad when somebody else gets it, with the exception of, I did a fucking actually really good play, and then somebody else did something dumb.
That happened to me last night.
But
where I was
you
like, the
can't
fuck?
really get mad at that because it's just game's algorithms, and what the fuck are you gonna do about it?
It's like the most score in a certain 5-second window or some shit.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is, but I kind of wish they would change. I mean, yeah, there is a really defined it's this person killed or this person wrecked shop in a certain amount of time, but I wish they would have. And it's not up to me to do that. I don't know if Blizzard ever could do that, but a more detailed, look at that, this person killed one person and disabled 3 turrets and then single-handedly took the objective. Or some shit like that. I did have a really good was it a play of the game? I don't remember. I think I was pissed off because I didn't get it, but it was, nobody was playing the objective, nobody was trying to capture, and as Tracer, I went behind enemy lines, and it was in it was the Temple of Anubis, and there was a little area behind the objective that I just kept strafing back and forth towards after dropping my bomb. I got 3 or 4 kills, and we ended up taking the objective. Yeah. And I was like,
I've absolutely had those moments in the beta.
And it's just really this, good. And then somebody, like a McCree or a Soldier 76 walks around a corner and activates their super and just mows down 5 people with half their health, and it's just okay, well, I guess I did that for nothing, but...
Hey, that McCree ult's pretty hard to pull off properly.
Yeah, I was the first time I did that. I was playing in arcade mode where the shit just recharges super fast, and I didn't know. I was just like high noon. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna kill everybody, and I press the button and nothing happens. I'm like, oh wait, what? And because I had never played McCree, but yeah, I've gotten it.
God,
He's
dude, getting the team kill with the McCree ult is like one of the most satisfying things.
Oh, it's really good.
Because, that's the thing about this game too, is that a lot of the cues are like audio cues of characters they call out a lot of their ults a lot of times. You'll hear, Hanzo or Genji say some crazy Japanese shit.
Yeah.
The real Kawazawa cry, and you're like, oh, motherfucker, we gotta get out of here. And then, Soldier will say like, I got you in my sights, and, everybody has this kind of tell of what they're about to do. So it kind of gives you a split second to adjust what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's high noon. Everyone's like, oh no, but they don't know where you are. And then you just, bah, 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 and it just pops up on the screen, team kill.
I really like
if he could spin his gun and blow out the smoke, I'd be so excited.
Oh, that'd be so good. McCree, I really dig, because he has that roll move that recharges, so he can do, what's the fanning the hammer? If he does that, and then you just roll around somebody as they're trying to strafe you, and you can just do that into them again. So goddamn satisfying.
You just pop around a corner. He's such a great hard tracer counter when she's dashing around, annoying the shit out of everyone.
Yeah,
that's
the thing.
Bam!
Every character kind of has that. He's the counter to Tracer, whereas Tracer is probably one of the best counters to Bastion, or even to some extent to Widowmaker. Yeah. And, Widowmakers are also a hard counter to Bastion, and pretty much anybody that has to stay mobile to use abilities. It's all really interesting and layered that way.
It's really goddamn good. And, I know it doesn't amount for shit, but, it's pretty impressive when a game dethrones League of Legends off the top of Twitch. Having, 300,000 people last night watching Overwatch.
Oh yeah, that's
insane.
Play Overwatch. It's crazy.
And I think that's a good sign that the game is going to blow up in the way that I think a lot of us want it to. Yeah. It's a game that's really, it's the rare combination of really fun to watch and really fun to play.
Yeah, it's just this. It's cartoony enough that you're it's not some grounded shooter talking about the end of the world and we gotta fix all the problems. It's totally this weird post-apocalypse game that it looks like a cool Pixar DreamWorks movie.
Well, it's not quite post-apocalypse. It's more dystopian.
Let's say
whatever,
near future type stuff.
It literally doesn't matter.
The one thing
the lore is actually, I kind of started digging
cool.
into that, and yeah, it's amazing that, I guess it's not that amazing because this is kind of part of a failed MMO plan.
Yeah.
But the lore they had set up for this is actually really fascinating, and I'm really looking forward to how they're going to build on that. Because they've already said they're doing more shorts and they're doing all this other stuff.
And I was saying, I would love just even the smallest kind of campaign component. I don't know. Again, it's up to Blizzard people to do that. I'm not a game designer yet, so
I don't think it's going to happen.
Oh, I know. I know it's not going to happen.
And how would it work? That's the thing. All the people that I've seen complaining about campaign, I'm like, how the fuck would you build a campaign in a game with 20 playable characters that all do different shit? Some of them will be garbage to play because they're support characters.
Yeah, exactly.
What does that even look like?
Looks like Battleborn.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. And they did it so well. But yeah, co-op would be super cool. I want some kind of, because and this game is really similar to fighting games in a lot of ways, and the biggest way is the characters. A fighting game will live and die on the appeal of its characters for some people, whether we like the stories or whether we like what they're fighting for or their background with the other characters.
Or their ability to do a 20-hit combo without ever letting you touch the ground, and therefore keep it up so they can fucking chip away your health bar in one try. That's what it's really about, Jordan.
Probably.
Let's be honest.
But Scorpion and Sub-Zero didn't become compelling characters because they were fucking palette swaps. People bought into the bullshit
because they could fucking shoot through people's chests.
That too.
Their rivalries.
They bought into the weird, really offhanded, half-assed original backstory, and then look at where we are now with Mortal Kombat X, and people love that shit. And the story, the background, and the lore, and just the characters, and even before matches, they'll have little interactions with each other. If you have a Widowmaker and a Tracer on a team, Widowmaker will say something like, "I guess we have to work together on this one," and Tracer will be like, "And don't think I like that." And it's just that. That's cool. That's interesting. There was one, I don't remember who it is. Was it Soldier 76 talking about how stupid McCree's name was? It was that's a stupid name for a cowboy, which isn't
heard that one.
That's amazing. I don't know. I just want more of that in some form.
God, I like Soldier's backstory in general. How he's I'm the commander of Overwatch, and then it all into shit. And he's now I'm basically the Punisher.
Yeah, and then Reaper's kind of the other one. He's the other commander that was like kind of rebelling against him, and then they're forced to play together. It's all
he goes like Black Ops and shit.
It's crazy. Yeah, he forms like a terrorist group called Talon.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's like weirdly cool to see like these 8-minute shorts of like these characters with how they explain how Genji and Hanzo fucking hate each other and how they're brothers. And
that was
like
an incredible. That's probably
so
my favorite
cool.
short. That short, if you haven't seen it, go watch all of these. Absolutely,
it's just called Dragons.
They are so. Like, just the amount of emotion and writing and, like, top to bottom, the just production values are insane. Even to the music. The score in Dragons was really incredible.
I mean, the music in the whole game is surprisingly
so good.
For the amount that there is, because normally I don't really like there to be music in my shooters. But, there's like some really nice menu music and stuff that kind of plays ambiently sometimes, and it's like, not terrible at all, and in fact, it's kind of definitely sets the mood. Like the loading screen music is really cool.
It's just like this. I don't want to sound too pedantic about it, but it's this very epic score, and I mean that it's a very sincere. It's rousing. It gets you hyped up in a really like fun way.
Yeah, and they all kind of represent like the different ethnic backgrounds of each location too, because the maps are supposed to take place in
globetrotting.
Yeah, you're globetrotting. Yeah, like and there's like the one that always pops in my head. The song that's stuck in my head is the fucking Numbani song.
Oh yeah,
This South African sort of more traditional.
It's just Diane word over it.
Sure. Yeah.
I was listening to that last night while we were playing.
Yeah, that's great.
But yeah, the music.
I'm gonna say real quick. Kevin and Evan, I know the answer for one of you, but have you been playing the arcade mode at all?
Yeah, I actually just jumped into that earlier tonight, and I was having a blast.
Yeah, like there's a surprising number of people I know haven't been playing it or think it's the same as it was in the beta.
That's what I thought.
Evan was telling me that, and I was playing with somebody else earlier that thought the same thing. So if you have the game right now, like, and you haven't touched that, fucking go play it, because it's really cool. It reminds me a lot of some stuff they've done in Dota 2, where there's like limited time modes where you have sorts of weird abilities. In this case, it's all the characters' cooldowns are like 300% quicker, and their ults charge faster and stuff.
Yeah, it's like they charge half as fast, I think, or maybe a quarter as fast.
So you have the situation where it's basically a really good mode for learning characters in the sense that you can use all their abilities quickly. You can get them unlocked and get a chance to use them, well, at least twice as much as you would normally. And yeah, like it's really fast paced. It makes you feel like a god most of the time because all of the characters are broken in different ways with it in a really nice way. Like Farah
is busted.
Farah can fly. Yeah, and you get to learn. Oh, I guess the skybox on this map is actually really high.
Yeah,
Jesus,
I'm
above them quite a bit
right
now.
Like 22 kill streak, just straight up, and like. I kind of felt bad about it, but then I realized that I've killed pretty much everybody on the enemy team multiple times, and they haven't once thought to look up and start shooting at me, so they deserve everything they get.
Exactly. And I did this really garbage thing that I was really funny to me, where I play Mei a lot. Mei is one of my favorite characters. And she has an ability where you hit E on your keyboard, or whatever it is on the controller, and you pop up a giant ice wall that is really hard to break through. Now imagine if that charged up every 2 seconds. And imagine you're on the defending team, and you're trying to reach the enemy base, but there's a really thin hallway. And maybe I just kept my entire team there for a little while. Because I wanted to see if I could. And sure enough, your teammates can't damage your barriers. So with Mei, and yeah, that's the thing. And then the rest of that match, because we were playing on the African map, Numbani, and it has some really nice tight corridors. And if you're playing the payload mode, you can just pretty much permanently wall off sections of the map, which basically we were able to keep the enemy team from pretty much ever stepping foot on the objective they needed to take. And that was a really nice thing. Mei is one of the best characters, I think, in the game.
Mei is really good. Can we talk about the map design for a bit? Because that's probably one of the more striking elements to me. It's, like, not only is it really, really good, and just they look incredible, but they're really, really detailed. Like, one of my favorites...
How many of you guys have shot the spinning trash can lid?
Shit, yeah. I've
endlessly.
Yep.
Or destroyed the arcade.
The arcade, that is such a, like, because if you look real close, there are a lot of nice Blizzard Easter eggs.
It's like Street Fighter and Metal Slug.
Well, yeah, but it's like, if you look at it, it's Street Fighter, but with Blizzard characters. Like, there's one where it's like Kerrigan fighting a StarCraft dude, and it's just like this really I don't know. It's a lot of in-jokes. In the Hollywood level, there's a poster for a movie called Heroes of My Storm.
I haven't seen that. That's great.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff.
There's some flags for Lucio concerts around as well on some of the maps.
Yeah, that's it's really cool. They've created a universe that there are little lore hints all over the maps, like Gibraltar, Watchtower Gibraltar, or whatever it's called. That place has these big lore implications. That's basically like Winston. That's where Winston goes to reform the team, and it's really cool. Like, I'm so excited to see where they go with it. And the nice thing is, unlike a lot of games, I don't have to worry about will they go anywhere with it, because it's Blizzard, and the one thing they do is support their games for a ridiculous amount of time with a ridiculous amount of free content.
Real quick before we go, I did want to talk about my dope-ass diva play I had before we started this. Because I didn't get to say it when we were doing cool plays, and now I want to say it. But I was playing, I don't even fucking remember the map, but they were trying to capture that first point that kind of unlocks the payload, and they kept just coming around. We were just mowing them down left and right. And they made like a final push, and the Reinhardt came around the corner, and Lucio popped his ult, which gives everybody on his team a shield. So, everybody's pretty tanky. They're coming in. We are contesting for the point. And my Diva ult is ready, which, if you're in the mech, Diva's ult is she basically it turns into a nuke, essentially. Like, it has a crazy radius.
It's insane how big that fucking radius is.
Fun fact, Farah cannot fly over it. No matter how high she gets, it'll still kill her.
That's great.
Yeah,
I bet you learned that one the hard way.
And then when she's just in her person form, she calls in another one. But I was in, and I had this ult, because I was saving it for one of these moments. And the Reinhardt, they all come barreling around the corner. Reaper's about to do his little E or whatever, teleport in. And the Reinhardt comes right at me, and then he initiates his charge, and I hop out and use my ult, and he hits the mech and pushes it into the corner, and I just hop out and I run around the corner, blows up his whole team, and we won. I was like, fuck yeah.
I accidentally did that once as a Reinhardt. Although, to my credit, somebody had driven the mech into the middle of like a cluster of four of us, and I straight up cleared it halfway across the level. So,
you jumped on the grenade?
Yeah, pretty much inadvertently. I meant to just kill the person, but whatever. I saved everybody. Unsung hero.
Yeah, there's little moments like that where you do something incredible and it blows your own mind like you didn't even mean to, and you're like, holy shit, that was awesome.
It is it's dynamic. To no end. Like, it's incredible. God, what a good game.
Now you got me thinking about playing Reinhardt just to counter a good diva.
Dude, Reinhardt is really fun to play. Like, he has some
no. I play him all the time. I just mean specifically to counter a good diva. Like, if I see one on the team, I'm like, oh, she's gonna have that ult up soon. I'm gonna be ready to knock that thing off an edge or something. That'd be kind of a cool strategy.
It's like the same thing where if a Reinhardt's charging, you can Roadhog, grapple him out of it if he's going to, take one of your team.
You can't McCree stun him. Try to learn that one the hard way, too.
And where, you can, that one gif that was going around, that weirdly perfect loop of Reinhardt taking Tracer off the edge and Tracer just rewinding back up.
I've done that as Tracer. Not with Reinhardt, but I've accidentally gone over the edge and been like, oh shit, and then you just go back up and it's so awesome.
It's the best thing when Mercy does it too, walk off the edge, oh god, and then somebody comes near and you L-shift or whatever the hell it is on consoles where she just tractor beams towards one of her allies. You can just save yourself. I saw a gif of she had fallen. I can't remember the map where you kind of go down to that weird facility, and it's a left and a right turn. And it's the payload, and there's kind of
dark. Is it London?
Yeah, it's is that what it is? King's Row.
King's Row. Yep.
And you go back down into the facility with the payload. And there's kind of these, two holes, and then right down where the payload goes in this big, open, tunnel, basically, that goes down. And I watched it was on the subreddit when the beta was going on, and Mercy had fallen down, and then she was, she was grappling one of her teammates, through the floor, so she's just hovering down there, and the guy who was playing, moved to an opening and, got her to come back up. I was like, that's fucking so dumb and hilarious.
Yeah, that's great.
That's pretty great.
I'm really excited to see, provided this game does get the esports following, the kind of crazy MLG plays that come out of really proper organized teams.
I bet you at BlizzCon this year, they're gonna have a big ass tournament.
That's one of the things I wanted to talk about is how Like, I think this game is, this is absolutely going to esports. I think it's just like the effortless nature of that, how Blizzard doesn't even really have to create a game. Like they don't, you look at Battleborn and especially Evolve, and they were fucking pushing those two so fucking hard, on the esports stage. And I don't think Battleborn is taking off. I certainly knew Evolve didn't take off. But I just think Overwatch is ripe for the picking, and I think we're definitely going to see it.
Yeah, I mean, you got Blizzard's already running 3 huge esports. Like StarCraft 2, Heroes of the Storm, and Hearthstone are all, of the 5 biggest esports, they're 3.
God, that's crazy how big
Actually,
Hearthstone
I mean,
is.
Counter-Strike might pass one of them, because I'm thinking the only other games are Dota, League
Dota.
and Counter-Strike, yeah.
I think Counter-Strike does beat at least like Heroes of the Storm. Like as far as it is another, it's a MOBA. There's already 2 in the top 5. Like
I mean, it might be beating StarCraft 2 at this point because StarCraft 2's prime is kind of past. It's kind of slowly dying out.
It's also really still hot in like Asia, which isn't huge here.
Yeah, but because of the rise of League and Dota, that those kind of taking a big share of the market now with esports.
It's also because that game's just like, it's one-on-one type shit where. You got these big ass giant mega teams that are sponsored by Coke and shit.
Like that's the thing with this and Counter-Strike, and then fighting games are fun to watch. Like MOBAs are fun to watch if you're into them. Overwatch is probably the most fun to watch FPS out of that whole group.
Yeah. Like I've followed Halo and Call of Duty for a while, but I've never like unless you get really into it or you've been following the teams, it's just not fun to watch.
Yeah, and honestly, Halo and COD, like the skill ceiling for that, I don't want to say it's lower.
Don't talk shit on Halo, man. That Halo skill.
It doesn't. Watching it is hard to tell. Like, this shit was like hard as fuck. You watch a fighting game and you watch somebody like do the Daigo counter, and you're like, oh shit. Like, you don't have to be super familiar with Street Fighter, but you watch Call of Duty and you watch somebody take out 2 guys and disarm a bomb, and it's like, oh well. I could have done that, even though you probably couldn't have, but...
Yeah. or even Counter-Strike. Like, that's the thing with Counter-Strike for me, like, that puts it ahead of COD and Halo, is that you can kind of see the skill, even if you're not super experienced with it. Like, watching plays in that game that are truly magnificent and good, like the last-second clutch plays, where it's, one person, their entire team gets killed, and then just against all odds, they manage to take down the entire team with a fucking pistol or something. I feel like there's a lot more of those moments in that professional scene than there are in, say, Halo or something.
Yep, definitely.
Yep, it's like, it's still today top on Twitch. Like, whether you think the game's going to be hot or not, having 80,000 people that may be on the fence, like, and they're going to like, fuck it, I'm going to buy this game. It looks like a shit ton of fun. Like, it's a big deal. And
regardless of that, like, the first day of it being out and it just takes over Twitch, like, that's insane. That's crazy.
I mean, yes and no. Like, I would expect the launch to be a big day. The question is,
still 300,000 though.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. 300,000 is a pretty good number.
Yeah, because I think someone said, can't remember where I saw it, but like Division, which has been like the year's biggest selling game.
Really?
I think the day it came out was only like 62,000, something like that.
Get the fuck out of here! Really, best selling game this year?
One of like the biggest launches this year, or something like that.
I'm disappointed that
it was only like 62,000 or something.
Yeah, me too.
I fucking regret buying that game so much.
I didn't
contribute. Me too. Me too. I'm like 15 hours in. I still keep going back every now and then because I'm a sucker for the grind of like pretty much any grinding game. But I'm just like, every time I play it, I'm like, this is all right.
I had like 4 hours of fun playing it with Evan, and that was pretty much it.
Jordan, I'm surprised you aren't bigger into MMOs with your whole grindy thing.
Funny
mentioning
that. Talk about Final Fantasy.
Hold on. It's on PS4, buddy. It's real fun.
I've been thinking about getting into World of Warcraft lately.
Do that. No, do that.
No.
Well, now I'm torn. Do I do that or not do that?
At least play the free trial that you can get to level 20.
Okay. Play the free trial of both, actually, and then make a decision.
Well, the reason is I signed up for a Battle.net account with Overwatch, and it gave me a baby Winston pet, and I'm like, in World of Warcraft, and I'm like, I gotta see what that is at least, right?
Play World of Warcraft. Because it's still a good game. The graphics are a little bit aged, but they'll run great on your not really amazing computer.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with aged graphics at all.
And artistically, it's really good, kind of like Overwatch. And, it's not quite as shiny as Final Fantasy, but the difference is that it's not a bad game.
But Jordan likes more Final Fantasy type things than he does stupid World of Warcraft.
That is not true.
What is World of Warcraft?
I feel like I need to remind you guys that I have played like half of a Final Fantasy game.
I meant just the style and that weird Asian culture bullshit.
Oh, you mean weeabooism? Yes, he does suffer from that.
Yeah, but like Final Fantasy Online has like furries and stuff. Like I've seen entire clans of like people, and like I don't want any part of that. Although Warcraft does have those panda people, so I guess you're screwed anywhere you go.
But you know what?
I've seen it's gonna be weirdos everywhere. I've seen
a surprising lack of Pandarian Rule 34 on the internet. Whereas in Final Fantasy, it's just rampant, man. It's everywhere.
But no, try the free trial for both. I mean, you can
is the free trial on PS4?
Yes, sir.
I might give that a try.
It's also crossplay. We can play together.
I tried. DC Universe Online a quick shot. That was for like a 15-second hot minute. That was all right. Not gonna hold my interest though. And I tried.
More.
Oh shit! No, I tried that
Warframe?
Onigiri. No, not Warframe. Onigiri is a like Japanese. It's garbage. Oh man! And I tried it because it looked garbage. It's just like one of the worst interfaces I've like hands down ever seen in a game. It is like if you just like watch a quick video, it's horrendous. It runs poorly. It looks bad. So don't play that on PS4. But there was one more MMO I tried. Anyway, it'll come to me.
I've been thinking about installing Phantasy Star Online too. Because I really like Phantasy Star.
No, I'm thinking of Star Ocean.
Sorry?
I was thinking about the new Star
Fantasy
Ocean.
Star is like an old series that I got into a few years ago. The online game specifically, the really proper Fantasy Star is like Final Fantasy style RPGs that were like, sprite based on the NES. Fantasy Star Online is a fucking Diablo-like, but it's third person and Japanese. And
that sounds alright.
Yeah, and it really is alright. I don't know if you were up on the situation in that game. At some point, that game was announced for Vita, and then it never came out.
Yeah, I've been familiar before with that.
And then,
story.
According to Giant Bomb's Jeff Gerstmann, it is now on the PlayStation 4. As long as you have a Japanese account. And I already have a Japanese account on my PlayStation. It's just not my primary right now.
The other game I was thinking of, real quick, was Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh, I wasn't a big one of that either.
Yeah, and I got the Tamriel, like the better edition, I guess, and I was still like not like I didn't think it was aggressively bad. I thought it was fine, but it didn't have like the Elder Scrolls hook to it. I did think the world building was pretty interesting, but like I don't know, it came out. I think I tried that. When did I try that? It was probably fall or something, and I was just like, I can't. I have stuff coming up. I can't devote time to playing this.
Well, if you do try that Final Fantasy trial, make sure to pick the server I'm on so we can hang out.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, I do, and going back to Vision, I have a real soft spot for certain types of grinds. Like this is the reason why I don't play old school JRPGs. I cannot stand turn-based grinding. But if it's like Destiny or even The Division, I like to pop on some headphones and just lose myself in a world for a little bit without like too much effort. So yeah, maybe I'll give Final Fantasy a try.
It's fun, man. Cool stuff. You missed all the cool Easter stuff, but whatever.
Oh, do you have a subscription?
Yeah.
How long? Or do you just pay monthly?
You pay monthly. Like I didn't have it for a couple months when there was a lot of games going on, because like Overwatch is probably going to take a little bit of a chunk out of it, but I'll probably still do my daily stuff. But it's $15 a month, and you get like subscriber rewards every 30, which are actually pretty dope. You get like a couple different mounts and some other garbage that is decent, but like I don't have a problem paying subscriptions if I know, for one, I'm getting my money's worth, and for two, that the content is actually fun. And like I think for the most part, like the community is overwhelmingly positive, and people they like to have a good time, and it has some fun ass shit in that game that I was surprised to find, because I'm also not like a huge Final Fantasy fan. I don't think I've finished one since like 6 came out, but it's a fun ass game.
Yo, can I ride one of those giant chickens?
Fuck yeah, you can ride a couple different giant chickens.
Fucking word!
Come on,
Let's
guys,
do
they're called
this.
chocobos. I've never played a Final Fantasy game, and I know that.
I have my chocobo decked out in Easter shit right now, because I played the event and got all the cool stuff. You know what, Jordan, we should get gay married so we can get the ceremonial chocobo, because that thing
you can get
awesome.
Married in that game?
You have to reserve time in a chapel to get married in that game. It's awesome. And you get the coolest fucking mount that can hold two people.
I believe that a bunch of fucking weirdos on the internet do it.
I love the idea of getting fake gay married to somebody and getting a ceremonial giant chicken.
It's so worth it,
I
too.
take back everything I said. Don't play World of Warcraft. Play this.
Like, in the weirdest way, it's like, I don't even know what it is. Like, cause you can get married in other games. Not a big deal, right? Like, I asked JC in Elder Scrolls, in Elder Scrolls, you can get fucking married whoop-de-fucking-do in that game, right? But in this game, you have to reserve, like, time. You can't just go in any time and be like, let's get married. You have to fucking reserve a time
honestly,
to get
that's
married in this
actually
game.
that's the least surprising thing to me about that, because there are a lot of MMO stuff. Like, MMO events are often handled that way, where, you know, if in game, in, you know, World of Warcraft, you can, like, build your own fucking houses and all this stuff. Like, there are, and then do stuff in, like, your own, like, personal community. Like, there are actually, like, a lot of timed events like that, like, where you have to...
Well, they don't give you a two-person cool chicken in
No,
awesome,
I have no doubt that, yes,
like,
there are zero gay
beautiful
marriage
white
chickens
gear.
in World of Warcraft. I am convinced of that.
It's so fucking cool. And, like, I really want to hit
used.
60... I really want to hit 60 with one character, because I keep flopping between the classes because it's so easy to do, and they're all super fun to do. And I've been trying to chase White Mage right now, and I want to get and do the Relic quest to get all the really cool looking gear, and there's so much I want to do. It just takes so much goddamn time, but it's such a fun game.
You gotta tell me real quick, is like the chocobo, is it like bestowed upon you? Like do they give a big speech like, and here's the ceremonial gay chocobo?
You know, I don't know. I've never been to a wedding.
Or is it just like show up in an inbox? Because I'd really like there to be some pomp and circumstance when they give me my giant gay marriage chicken.
I think the first time you get a mount, it's like you pick a grand company, which is kind of three different, you know, in like any game where you pick an alliance, sort of, and you get a company chocobo with like a company, they're called bardings, which is like a cool saddle and a cool kind of banner. And I can't remember if there's a really epic like cutscene where they're like, check it out, it's your fucking chocobo, bro, and you're like, holy shit, and eventually you can get them to where you can summon them and help you fight, and you can feed them, and they level up and shit, like, it's cool.
Okay, so real quick, because I need to get this straight. Pardon the pun. Are the chickens different based on whether or not it's a gay wedding?
I doubt it, no, because there's
equality. Because you keep on saying gay wedding, like there's like this chocobo is gay.
Well, no, I'm just saying that Jordan and I would have to get gay married because we're two dudes.
You could create a female character.
Yeah, I like 100% of the time if I have a choice, it's going to be a female character.
Well, it's going to be a sham of a wedding, though. I don't love you at all, but
absolutely.
But we can both ride on it, and it's really fucking cool. Like I had one of my old free company whatever their guilds, free company, same thing. It was run by like an actual real life married couple, and they would like we'd be like, alright, let's all meet at this dungeon, and they would fucking roll up on this fucking badass chocobo, and I was like, hot damn, that thing is fucking cool. And like the other character, the second character on it just kind of sits there, like on the back, looking thug as fuck, like, it's super cool.
That sounds alright.
You throw the word cool around so lightly.
It's such a fun game. Like,
podcast listeners, go back to the last 5 minutes and listen to how many times you use the word cool to describe these things.
It's cool, though.
But whatever you do, don't play a drinking game. You'll probably be dead.
Yeah, well, you gotta bring the party. But, you know, I'm not the biggest MMO dude. Like, I've tried basically all of them, and none of them have ever stuck. But for whatever reason, I keep coming back to playing Final Fantasy XIV.
See, I don't know if I was going to get into one of them, because I'm not an MMO guy either. Like, I would look at WoW because it's a big name I can trust.
I played like 30 hours of WoW.
Enough people like it.
Nah.
Enough people like it that I could probably get into it. And Blizzard games have that certain level of polish. The other games I've looked at are Guild Wars, because Guild Wars is A, subscription free,
Guild Wars 2
and B, really cool. And that's the one game that all my friends hate MMOs, and they all got into that.
It's really pretty too. It's a really pretty game.
But the other game I'd look at was maybe like EVE Online, because EVE is just such a
that's
crazy.
Way
oh wait, no, I don't want any part of that. No, I've peered into the vast depths that is that game, and I want like that is something that every year there's like a massive battle or some crazy shit. Yeah, and like I look at that with such a avid fascination. I want no part of it.
I don't want a part of it per se. Like, I wouldn't play that game with any sort of like regularity and go in on that. I just would want to get in enough that I can really understand that stuff and kind of bear witness to it.
I feel like that barrier for getting in enough would be too much.
I felt that way before, but like I went in on like Arma, for example. Arma is a game that is kind of like that in the sense that it is kind of fucking impenetrable. But I was just so interested in all of the crazy stuff that can happen on the like really hardcore level of that game that like one summer I just kind of spent like 20 hours with it trying to sort everything out so I could see all of the crazy shit that was going on with that game at the time. So I don't know, like if I ever feel the urge to play an MMO,
it would be Final Fantasy 14.
That's cute, but no. It would probably be Eve.
Jordan, I gotta tell you about this DLC they sent out too. It's called Heaven's Word.
And that's the podcast, everyone.
It announces flying mounts, and they have these 3 giant new dungeons with these crazy bosses, bunch of trials, crazy like steampunk sort of themed raid. Let me tell you.
Can I make myself into a really tall elf lady?
Yes.
Alright, I'm down. Let's do it.
They're called Elizin.
Wait,
and
can I make myself into an elf in Warcraft?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, the choices!
I think they have dark and light.
Yeah, no, they have like,
there's
like
shit.
fucking 10 different races in Warcraft.
But here's the thing though, is they don't look as pretty as they do in Final Fantasy.
Well, it's not like in the Elder Scrolls where I look at like the elf and there are all these weird like mongoloid Spock people.
No, because only Bethesda knows how to make characters that look as bad as Bethesda characters.
No, I was like, oh man, there are like 3 different types of elves. I will have such a hard time deciding. Nope, you just don't do an elf because they all look bad.
Here's how you decide. We'll read out on this. There's a Steam review that's been at the top of the Final Fantasy thing for forever, and it always makes me laugh. And it says 3.5 thousand hours played. And it's just one sentence, and it says, "My life has been stolen away, and I'm not even sad about it." There we go.
But you know what? If you go to the Steam page for just about every garbage MMO that is on that platform, and you look at the positive reviews, you will find somebody saying that about APB Reloaded.
Yeah, well, that guy's wrong, and this guy's right. Anyways, let's get out of here. It's been quite a long one now.
Yeah, it's been a good one.
The last half hour, just really random things.
Good conversation. The interesting stuff.
Yep, my roommate is waiting at work for me to pick him up. It's been like half an hour. Anyways, we'll talk to you guys later. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.